If you take those three names in particular, Francis Tolentino, Bong Go, and Bato de la Rosa, it's no coincidence. Bato is in, Bong Go has jumped, Francis Tolentino is still there at the margins where he's always been. In fact, he finished in the last elections near to the top 12.
13.
Near to the top 12 also. But those three, by no coincidence, are also the three names that President Duterte specifically, most explicitly carries. Even in his last statement, when he expressed dismay over the names at the top, he mentioned these three. And if you take that as etong tatlo talaga ang tinutulak ng Pangulo, what does that say, or what can you measure right now in terms of the endorsing power of President Duterte?
Well, in the case of Bato, I think for as long as the president does not, I think Bato has his own charisma. I think for as long as the president says, okay, you run, and does not stop him from running, and that's happened. He doesn't need the endorsement of the president as much as the other two. In the case of Bongo, it's very evident. Okay, he's always behind the president. In the case of Francis Tolentino, you have to look at the level of awareness. It's only 69% right now. They have forgotten the former MMDA chairman, and the president has been appointing him to various positions, presidential advisor for this, presidential advisor for that. The awareness is low, so that will mean that the conversion is high. So. What does it mean about the endorsement? I think it will have its effect. It's a question of whether the people perceive there is a match. Obviously, there's a match between the president and Bato because he was the PNP chief of the president, and they both agree on this tokang. They agree on this anti-illegal drugs campaign. Obviously, there's a match between the president and Bongo, because Bongo is just the presidential special
He's the
assistant of the president, just there. But I think what's not working so well for Bongo is what can he say for himself? Now, in the case of Francis Tolentino, it's the match is not so obvious. Okay, why is the president endorsing Francis Tolentino to that extent? He's not from Davao. Okay, unlike the other two, they're from Davao. I think, I don't know, they both like big bikes. I don't know. But if that becomes more set in the people's minds that there's a match, then this guy has performance. Then it could help him. He was number 13 in
the last elections.
2016. Yes, and despite the fact that he lost his slot in the main party at the time.
Okay.
But is it any factor that Tolentino used to be allied with the Liberal Party before he shifted to Duterte? Could that be a factor at all?
No, I don't think. I think people have forgotten that he was being entertained for an LP slot, because there were factions within the LP that wanted him in, and factions that didn't want him in. It was never clear, and then he was. I mean, even before the campaign period started, he was out of it. I don't think he's identified with LP. But the connection between him and the president, it's not that clear to the people. Not that clear. Maybe clear to the president, maybe clear to Francis Tolentino, but not to the people yet.
Before we bring in Sergius Manya, who's on the phone, the president has not yet gone all out for his candidates. Of course, he has talked about them in a few speeches here and there, but the campaign period per se has not started yet, and you might expect him to go more all out in the next few months. Would that have, do you think, a significant impact, or at least something that could possibly change things around if these candidates are hanging the number 13 slot or number 12 slot? Would that translate?
I think it would help. It would help. President Aquino was able to help some of the people. It's not all. I will not fault a president for not being able to get all of his endorses in, because our people are really very personality politics based. So that's why the match has to be there. The match between the endorser and the endorsee has to be there. Okay. So I will not fault the president. I will not say, ay, mahinang presidente yan, hindi niya napasok, si ganito napasok. We only had one president, and it was because of the circumstances. It's just Cory Aquino, who was able to bring 11 out of 12 in.
Yeah.
After that, nothing. I mean, you can't attribute it to the popularity of the president per se, because it's personality politics.